5 albums from 2024 that I've been listening to recently that I think you should absolutely be checking out because they're really good. Call them underrated, call them overlooked, call it whatever you want. These are just albums that I think you should be checking out. They are worth your time, and it seems as though they're pretty much flying under the radar. It doesn't seem like many people are talking about them, so I'm here to save the day once again. I know, you can thank me later, or thank me now. You can just subscribe, you can like the video, you can share it around. Do it. Why wouldn't you? Come on. Fan of Hughes. This is a really lovely neo-soul R&B album that I have been pretty impressed with. It's just so smooth and slick sounding. Like, it's not too stripped back, like in a way that Cleo's Soul is, where she just like goes really minimal. But it's also not too kind of bright and sprightly and poppy in the same way that Raven Lene is. It's probably somewhere in the middle of those two. It's kind of like a mix of both, but just kind of keeping things really, chill, not really, just pretending that you don't really care. You just sat there in the corner, just having a good time, but you do care. And it sounds really nice. It's really good. It's just a lovely R&B album that I think more people should be listening to. I thought the penultimate track was really catchy, really upbeat, so it kind of does go in that direction occasionally, but more often than not, it's just a really nice listen. Check it out. Hakushi Hasagawa next. Like, what an album, man. How do you come up with this? How do you like put this down and come up with these ideas and make them fit into an album? I don't know. I'm just finding this so remarkable to listen to. It's a bit of a head scratcher at times. It's a bit mucher at times, I will say that. It definitely kind of toes the line of really trying to test your willpower, test your patience, but I think anyone that's getting it will really get it and be on board with it, because it's just really cool, it's really creative, it's really out there, it's really outlandish. I just think anybody that's full of life and wants that kind of experimental type music to just hit their ears at any moment, this album is for you. I want to mention Aurora because I think she's kind of been a bit under the radar, but also been doing quite well for herself. So she's kind of a bit of a mix in that sort of pool. But whenever you sort of see music critics and, I don't know, music reviewers review things, she just doesn't get talked about. But I was really impressed with this album, actually. I thought her last one was good, but I think this was even better because I think she's just got a bit more of a knack for like the melodies now. It's still artsy, it's still very much in that range. It kind of reminds me of like a Suzanne Sunfur at times, but I think she's nailing the track structures to make them pop out and stand out. Even though this album is quite long, like there's loads of great moments that really stick in your ears. Like the first few tracks particularly, that's a great little track run there. To Be Alright being one of the best songs on the album, maybe the best. Yeah, I just think that kind of crowd, the artsy pop crowd, would be all over this, and I think you should check it out because it probably seems like you haven't. I have talked about Cassandra Jenkins already in a shorts review. I didn't do like a full video for it. I just kind of gave it a quick minute review just because I didn't think that many people would click on the video. So I thought a shorts video might just get a little bit more attention than a standard review, because that's how it is all these days, guys. It's hard out here. I put out videos and sometimes you just don't click them. You don't click them. Oh. Cassandra Jenkins, though, last album got a bit of attention because of that one track, Hard Drive. You remember that track, Hard Drive, if you're a bit of a nerd. You remember that track. And yet this album might not have one song that stands out in the way that track did, but I think consistently overall it's a better album. Like, this is a better album to me. I just think the vocals sound exquisite. The instrumentals are just really alluring. It's kind of like pensive at times. It's kind of like, testing your patience a little bit with the structures of the songs, but they really do stick. And there's some like heavenly moments on this album, man. Like some of the vocal performances, some of the instrumentals just combine so beautifully. I was a big fan of this. This is definitely one of my favorites of the year. So this is the biggest endorsement of this entire video. So I think if you're going to pick one, just keep in mind that this is the one I think is the best. So therefore, you're probably going to go, oh, he thinks it's good? Let's click on one of the other ones because we don't trust this guy. Finally, want to mention Mavi. I think Mavi is in a good place at the moment. He's adding a nice, soulful vibe to hip-hop that I think is much needed. Him and like Navy Blue, that kind of crowd. I'm just a big fan of these guys kicking about and getting a nice reception as well to their music. You know, Red Veil, I'm just a big fan of these guys coming through and bringing that side of hip hop, not really to the mainstream, but there's enough people that are paying attention that are keeping this kind of sound, you know, still relevant. And Mavi, I think is I just think he keeps getting better. I was impressed with his first one. I know he was really young when he made that one, and that was probably the one that got the most attention out of all of his albums. But I don't know, I think he's actually progressing similar to Red Veil, actually, in that he just seemingly is improving bits and bits at a time. I'm just finding him on this album to be far more interesting to listen to. I think the beats and the selections of the jazzy instrumentals are really nice as well. Yeah, just a big fan of what's going on here. And I think Mavi, if you're somebody that's, you know, wanting hip hop to come back because you feel like it might be dead, well, come on, check out some of these guys that are more in the underground, and maybe you'll find something you love, because I think this would appeal to a lot of hip-hop heads. And that is it from me. These are the 5 albums I wanted to highlight in this video. Rather than doing separate individual album reviews for each one, I thought it was just easier to throw them all in a vid and give you multiple recommendations all in one go. So if you are thinking there isn't much out there, I need something new to listen to, I've always got you covered. Always got you covered. So tell me your thoughts in the comments, what you think of these albums. Do you agree with me, disagree? What should I talk about next in a video? What should I include in another video like this in the future? Subscribe, check out my Patreon if you're feeling really generous as well. That would be lovely. You get to join the Discord server if you join me over on there. That would be great to see you do that. But at the very least, like the video, share it around, and give it a comment and subscribe too. Have a good day. Goodbye.